going, movie fans? My name is Jonathan Martinez, and I am a man of movies. I love film and everything that has to do about it, and I'm just here for you to listen to my take. Just a quick update as to why I'm not making as many videos as I want to. A lot of the equipment that I use to make videos, or at least to make it look a bit more professional than even now, I have to share with other people, but I bought some equipment, it's on its way. Hopefully when it comes, I'll be able to make a lot more reviews on films, whether it be films on demand or films from back in the day. But till then, there's some news that dropped in the last 15 hours or so concerning AMC Theatres and Universal Studios. I'm looking at my laptop to get some quotes, to get some more info that AMC Theatres refuses to play Universal films in the wake of Trolls World Tour. That is some big news because Universal Studios isn't just some indie player here, okay? We're talking about one of the biggest film production studios in the world. And AMC Theatres will refuse to play any of its movies. Now that's a big deal. All right, so some background knowledge here with everything that's been happening with COVID-19. Movie theaters have been closed, so movies have been forced to either be delayed indefinitely or moved to a specific slot, whether it be toward the end of the year or next year entirely. Universal Studios was gonna come out with Trolls World Tour, and they didn't want to lose profit. They didn't want to take this movie and delay it at another time when bigger movies will be fighting against it, or completely next year when a whole bunch of more movies are gonna be fighting against it. So they decided, let's take Trolls 2 and let's release it on video on demand so that people can see it. Now, in my opinion, I get it. If I was a multi-billion-dollar company, I need to make my money somehow. I'm not gonna go under like some companies are willing to go under. I need to make my money somehow. But here's the thing. If you are in the movie theater business, you have to abide by rules. You have to abide by some policies and contracts that you cannot breach. So Universal decides to put it on video on demand because Trolls 2 wasn't even tracking good at the box office. Here's some numbers for you real quick. The first Trolls, which came out in 2016, on a budget of $125 million, domestically made about $153 million. Worldwide, though, they've made about $346 million. So I don't know if they broke even or not. I always heard of the term that a movie has to make 3 times its budget to even break even. It didn't even make 3 times its budget, that first movie, but it was close enough. It was close enough that I could see that Universal had enough faith that maybe with a second one, more families will come in. You would allow more time for the first film to marinate, and people will come out to see your film. Unfortunately for Trolls 2, it wasn't tracking well. According to Box Office Pro, the second Trolls movie was only tracking to open to $23 million compared to the first Trolls that opened to $46 million, almost double that. Domestically, like I said, Trolls 2 was tracking to, in its domestic run, only make about $60 to $90 million. That's a big drop off, and if it had even as much budget or more than the first one, it was gonna lose money for the company. So I do see it as a smart move for Universal to want to take this to video on demand so that people can watch it in their homes. But the thing is, you cannot just go and do this last minute, which is what Universal Studios did. According to one of the heads of AMC, Universal Studios let them know last second that they were going to put their product on video on demand and that they were going to completely skip the theatrical release window. That is a big no-no because NATO, which stands for the National Association of Theater Owners, they have rules, they have policies that you have to abide by if you want to be in this game. You have to have a movie out in theaters for at least 3 months before you go and put it out on Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, or any home digital platform. Those are the rules that Disney has to abide by, that A24 has to abide by. Lionsgate, Sony Pictures, they all have to abide by this, and they all have abided by this. So why did Universal think it was better than them to put it out? So I get AMC's part. AMC came out with a quote a couple weeks ago that Universal was gonna pay for this thing that they did. Okay, news came out, AMC is not gonna play any Universal Pictures. Here's a quote by Adam Aron, who is the chair CEO of AMC Theatres. It is disappointing to us that Universal's unilateral actions and intentions have left us with no choice. Therefore, effective immediately, AMC will no longer play any Universal movies in any of our theaters in the United States, Europe, or Middle East. Incidentally, this policy is not aimed solely at Universal out of pick or to be punitive in any way. It also extends to any movie maker who unilaterally abandons current windowing practices absent good faith negotiations between us, so that they, as a distributor, and we, as an exhibitor, both benefit and neither are hurt from such changes. Okay, what he is saying here is that because of what Universal decided to do, because Universal decided to go out on a limb on their own without even negotiating with these people. Aaron says here, and in hindsight, we don't know how true this could be, but we have to take his word now, is that if they had made some good faith negotiations, there is a good chance that Trolls would have came out on video on demand either way, but they wouldn't have been disciplined. NBC Universal CEO Jeff Shell made a quote saying that Trolls World Tour actually did a lot better on VOD than it would have in theaters. Well, duh, I just read you the numbers. But as soon as theaters reopen, they are expecting to release movies on both formats, so in theaters and video on demand. Listen, here's the thing. Here is my honest opinion. Universal Studios should have never done this without the consent of NATO. They should have instead talked to NATO, talked to AMC, talked to any other big theater chain and said, listen, we are gonna lose money. And I know Disney's not doing this, Sony's not doing this, all the other production companies are not doing this, but is it okay if we can release Trolls World Tour on video on demand, and when theaters reopen, we'll release it to you? I think still the answer would have been no. I have nothing to back that up. I think the answer still would have been no, but they would have been in good standing with NATO, they would have been in good standing with AMC, and now, because of this, these huge franchises like Fast and the Furious, Jurassic World are gonna lose out on a huge chunk of change once these sequels come out in the next coming years. Because AMC is the largest theater chain in the world. So we're gonna see some things there. But on the other hand, I'm not just gonna preach for AMC because I think AMC could have done something so different here. AMC could have said, hey, when a movie comes out, instead of taking some percentage for our theater chain, we're gonna take even more percentage. Why? Because you went against your contract, you breached it. But to completely cut out a whole studio's movies, AMC, as it stands, is already having financial problems. They're going bankrupt. Some people think they might not even see it through the summer. So you think cutting out one of the biggest production studios' films out of your watch list is gonna help you out? You need them. You need that money. I think if I was AMC, I would say, listen, we are going to take a certain percentage out of what we usually give you. We're gonna take more in because you decided to breach your contract. It's only fair. And not only are you taking movies that so many people love, franchises that many people follow, out of the biggest theater chain in the world, but you're saying that it's okay for your competitors to make more money than you when these movies come out. Come on. I don't see it working out. And this is new, and I don't expect AMC to come out in the next hour or two and retract that. But If they do, I think it'll be smart. I think they need to find a different way to discipline Universal, because I do think Universal does need some discipline. They went on their own. They breached their contract. They went against NATO policy. They deserve some repercussion. But to have this, it's not going to help anybody out. And it bothers me because I'm such a huge fan of AMC Theatres. I think it's the best theater chain in the world. It is the largest one in the world. And they're shooting themselves. I don't want this to be the downfall of either company. But these are just my thoughts. I want to get everybody in the know here. Let's see what happens in the next coming days. But what do you think? What are your thoughts about what's happening with AMC Theatres and Universal and how they're not going to play their movies? I think there's another way that you can go that's more financially stable for both companies. It's show business, guys. It's not show friends, okay? Stop acting like little kids. Stop acting like little boys and girls. You are a business. You gotta see what's best for business. Stop being butthurt. But like this video, share them with family and friends. Let them know what's happening. And subscribe to my channel. Till next time, movie fans.